I've heard American, military officials say the Taliban used these last 20 years very, very cleverly and strategically. It didn't just happen overnight, this last couple of, weeks and the fall. What do you attribute it? How do you see the steps that were taken that led to where we are now?
Well, what I would say is it's not so much especially the Taliban who used this time so strategically. It was the Pakistani Military Intelligence Agency, which is the organization that really ginned up the Taliban in the first place back in the early 1990s. And starting about 2003, I began seeing signs that the ISI, which is the acronym of that agency, that the ISI was reconstituting the Taliban. And, at that time, no Taliban could even stay inside Afghanistan. They would run in, do one attack, and then run back out across the border. And then as time went on, I watched quite a sophisticated campaign plan develop that responded well to where NATO forces had positioned themselves. And I watched that develop over a matter of years, and it was sometimes discouraging to speak to NATO officers or US officers who were saying, oh, the Taliban are just opportunistic. They're like water in a plastic bag. You squish it in one place and it pops out somewhere else. And I said, no, they're not. They're actually executing quite a strategic plan. And I guess I'd say in terms of today, the same thing is true. Look at the, simultaneous surrender and defeat of Afghan government forces and civilian leaders all around the country, almost at the same time. Look at the focus on the north first and then the south. Look at the people who flooded across the border from Pakistan into the border town of Spin Boldak. And I would say, do we really think that this ragtag militia, as we've been told the Taliban were, that they conducted such an effective campaign with such obvious planning? I don't think so. I think they had help from the Pakistani military.
So let's quickly, and many do actually believe that. And you said you'd interviewed so many, Taliban in the day, back in the 90s. They did have Kandahari accents, but you knew where they had come from. And it was a particular mission by Pakistan. So why? Now the question is why? Why after 20 years would Pakistan still throw its lot in with them?
It was a way to gain at least proxy control or client, patron control over the territory of Afghanistan. What the Pakistani government did not want was a healthy, happy, forward-looking, democratic Afghanistan because, the major Afghan ethnic group, the Pashtuns, also have a large population inside Pakistan. And so, if the Pashtuns in Afghanistan were, enjoying a forward-looking, prosperous country, well, maybe their cousins and brothers-in-law across the border in Pakistan would start demanding an end to the military dictatorship in that country. And then there's this rivalry with India that Pakistan is always, raising as an issue.